A beautiful Friday morning it is, and I welcome you to VOP this morning. I'm Moses Humphrey. Now, NLC confirms suspension of 7-day warning strike just about 2 days after. Plus, for those who know what it means, the wife of the governor of Lagos State said the death of Dr. Voare Diaso from the elevator crash at a hospital on Lagos Island was as a result of, I quote, an arrow fired. Oh, well, these are our topics of interest this morning, and we should come to them in a jiffy. In the meantime, you may like to click. We would actually love for you to click and subscribe to our page on YouTube. We are Voice of the People. Search us out and subscribe. Be part of what we do right here. It's Voice of the People TV. And on other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. And as usual, we start the show with looking at stories that made it to the cover pages of some newspapers. And I have with me VOP in-house analyst Cyril Abaku. Good morning to you, Cyril.
Good morning, Moses.
You look sprite and ready for the Friday.
Yeah, except that I had you read something just now, which I was trying to wrap my head around.
The arrow being fired.
It's always a good thing heading into the weekend. You know, this is the TGIF edition of our program. But something just sort of tipped the scales for me a bit, you know. When I had this.
I think it's an African thing.
I don't know what it even means.
Okay. We'll delve into that one much later. You know, Africans are really spiritual in nature. Oh, yes.
Well, an arrow fired, who knows what that is?
Oh, well. Oh, well. We'll find out.
Spiritual arrow.
It could be. It could be. Well, let's look at the papers now. We're starting off with the Nation newspaper today. The banner headline on the cover page of the Nation is Ganduje pledges reform, fairness to reposition APC. And sub-riders, former Governor Senator Bashiru step in. Tinubu, let's fulfill our promises. NWC gets Fiat to fill 6 vacant posts. All right, these are, and then when you go further up above the banner headline, we have Tinubu sends Abdusalami Sultan to warn Niger junta. Kingibe on a diplomatic shuttle to Algeria. Libya. On top of that one, we have a Labour threatened strike over contempt charge against Ajero. All right, Labour. NSA probes another vessel held with stolen crude. Suspected military boat escorting sheep. This one was also apprehended by the Tantita team. NNPCL, NIPCO to deploy 35 CNG stations. Oil, gas, free trade zones attract $16 billion investment. And then when you go further down, we have this headline, Pencom's assets hit 16 trillion naira. Delta to buy electric buses. All right, so these are the headlines on the cover page of the Nation newspaper. Cyril.
The question of security is still very much on the front burner, and Nigeria appears beset on many fronts. The long-drawn battle with Boko Haram is still very much alive. The banditry problems, the issues of kidnapping, farmers not being able to go back to their farms. Of course, governors in the southeast are still dealing with insecurity. The IPOP factions calling for sit at home, although it appears that people are waking up to defy Simon Ekpa and his gang. We do also are very much consciously aware of the fact that in light of the removal of subsidy, street gangs, petty thieves are on the prowl. If you talk to people, you find that out. People are going anywhere they can. The other day, somebody told me about somebody who was caught trying to steal some items, down the road, and when he was caught, he was made to. They stripped him naked and made him to roll in the gutter. So we have there is a general apprehension in the land. Now, But security issues are of different types and shades. The question of another oil theft, look, the federal government is not coming clean with what is really going on. Did I hear you read that a particular boat was thought to be escorted by military? This is not where we should be. The military a proprietary military escorting oil thieves is for me is not even primarily the issue. Nigeria is not short of revelations. You hear tomorrow in the presidency, at the NNPC, at the CBN, but that we don't ever have the will, capacity, determination to bring these things to a logical conclusion, to investigate, to ask the right questions, and to serve justice. For as long as you fail to do that, I've said before, our newspaper front pages are like a circus. You will see all sorts of oddities, but they don't ever get closure. They don't ever get closure. That is why crime will continue to beget crime. I said something many years ago. I said, look, Nigerian corruption is not an accident. Moses, corruption has successor. It is the corruption of 1960 has a direct link to the corruption of 2023. Because people succeed. You know, it's the same system. People succeed, people nominate. Don't we know that almost everybody who becomes a minister, a commissioner, a governor, sometimes even are all holding forth for people who nominate them. The real people that the voters don't see. Mm-hmm. So when
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, so when this is the case, how do you expect that the person who is there at another man's behest will not make recourse to that man, will make recourse to the people or to the system? It's not going to work. Now you hear this, tomorrow you hear that they have bombed it. You are committing a crime against the Nigerian people, a crime against the constitution, a crime against the established security protocol and order, and then a crime against the environment. How do you empty that whole large vessel of just bomb it and you've killed flora, you kill fauna? I always say somebody must be held to account. Insaner crimes. The mere fact that you have that sort of body of water, are we even making money from it? Maybe in terms of tourism and so on, we are not. We must, otherwise can a government that places premium on its environment order that a ship be bombed with its content like that? Come on.
It's beginning to look like this is some sort of facade to make it seem like these people are working, because even those that were caught at the last, we don't know anything about the case.
If you
absolutely nothing.
If you will bear with me to draw your mind back, I know when I made the point you didn't agree with me, but I'll restate it. Nobody's fighting oil thief. You know, I'm a bit. No, nobody fighting oil thief. Don't make a mistake about it. You can't tell me that you're not fighting oil thieves. A new set of interested investors are trying to push out the old ones. That's what's going on. You can't rub a wool over my eyes. I'm too facade, yes, but what is there behind what is the facade covering? That's the main question. I will say it again. You know, somebody saw a vessel of that magnitude, and the order is to crash it, and that has not deterred others from coming. All right. So let me say it again. What is going on is that new thieves, I call them investors, new thieves are trying to use their power now to phase out the old ones. That's what's going on. When I say the corruption of many years ago has a bearing on the corruption of today, let me explain. In Babangida's time, there was a much celebrated case of the oil windfall of 1991 or 1990, where we sold oil for $12.7 billion or so. And all that money, not a single cup of it, was remitted to Nigeria's coffers. He was a military dictator, and people's eyes had not been open to see these many avenues of corruption. A lot was not known. Our population was not so youthful, was not so much, you know. But now with democracy and social media, everybody knows everything. In a democracy, somebody can challenge another person, and there's no fear to say shoot him or whatever. So everybody now will have a share, will have a finger in the pie. So they draw, the pool is massive. If you manage to not have state power, or you're able to call it, you say, oh yeah, you've been there for too long. Leave that. And the only language of the elite, is the language of force.
Okay, that's a postulation.
It is my postulation
right.
that new thieves are only pushing out old thieves.
Another school of thought.
Moses, you should be bothered. The president's friend went to visit him. Okay, they spent some time talking, maybe hours, minutes, I don't know. He came out and categorically said the military were the ones behind the oil theft.
And nothing was done. The military said, name names.
Anybody,
and that was all they said.
Anybody who wants to question what I'm saying should first of all go and question the president and his team. I think it's only moral. Is that not so? It's only moral. Or question, or at very least, someone has had up and question him. Say, Asari, the things you are saying.
Well, another school of thought is of the opinion that could this be that the same people are just sacrificing old vessels? That's a school of thought.
I mean,
it's the same people.
It's not just another school of thought.
For the public to have the feel that there's something is being done, let's sacrifice these old vessels.
That school of thought again is quite appealing, and I can't rule it out. So I can let it sit side by side with my earlier postulation. But at least both positions are unanimous in agreeing that nothing is being done. So now there is a part of me, and I don't know if you know, but there's a part of me that that looks up to the president. You know, that admires him as it were. There's a part of him that I admire. But on this other aspect, when things are not done the way they should be done, don't expect that I should keep quiet. Right. If I love you, I should be able to also say the truth. Is that not so?
True that. Okay, so let's touch on the Daily Trust now. Banner headline here is "Don't invade Niger." Prominent Nigerians tell Tinubu, ask ECOWAS to consider diplomacy, sanctions, fear in North over mass influx of refugees. Military action, last option, DHQ. Abdulsalami Sultan meet coup leaders as Tinubu's emissaries. Don't invade Niger, and what that invasion might portend for Nigeria. That's a conversation, that we should be having, really. Some more headlines here. Diphtheria kills 122 children in 7 months. Court remands husband for attempting to cut wife's breasts. One would wonder if that's for ritual purpose. NLC threatens another strike over FG's contempt charges. Some people will feel that Nigerians are, a little bit tired of NLC's call for strike, because the NLC is beginning to look like a bulldog that barks but cannot bite. How Ganduje emerged APC chairman. Disco's revenue deep as foreign companies fail to pay $16.11 million power debt in Q1. Troops nab dismissed soldier supplying platoon militia arms. Cyril, I want to believe that you would have something to say in that regard. Tinubu's wife visits Buhari in Dara to check up on him, see how he's doing.
Is that the one you said?
No. I'm just.
That's the proper Friday headline anyway.
Which one?
Tinubu's wife visiting the former president
in Dara. To look up on him and to thank him for everything that he's done so far. Has anybody visited those in Benue to check up on them?
Well, but okay. I think
this is the one I would like to get your thoughts on. Troops nab dismissed soldier supplying platoon militia arms.
Platoon militia, is it which militia now? The natives who are fighting to defend their land from aggressors that the state can't protect them from, or the aggressors? Or probably the aggressors. Or the aggressors. I wish we could I wish we could know what the story is about. But something tells me this could well be about the natives who have an obligation, whom I believe have a binding duty to protect them. And Moses, the only thing I'm going to say this morning is the people of Plateau State should take heart. These two shall pass. It will not last forever. If the mountain, how do they put it, does not go to Muhammad, as they say, Muhammad will go to the mountain. If the mountain doesn't go to the mountain will go to Muhammad. I think either way, justice will be served one day. Let's keep hope alive. Let's keep hope alive, because for weeks and weeks on end, these killings went on and on and on. It was only after several weeks that we began to hear conversations around how to restore peace. Even then, it was the governors of Plateau and I think Zamfara that went to Abuja to go and visit the new chief of defense staff. And what he said was not a pledge to end the killings. He said they should go back and look at the issues involved and try to find a solution. It appears to me that the script is being played out. It was the same thing President Buhari did when the issue of the Benue killings came to the surface. He said, oh no, it was in Plateau. He said, share your land with you. I can't remember, it was Benue or Plateau. He said, what is the purpose of land? What is the value of land? Share with your brothers. It doesn't sound like what a president should be saying. It didn't sound like what a leader should be saying. Power does not last forever. No one person can be in power. Time will take power away from people. And when that time comes, we will hope that the right thing is done. I am personally very disappointed with how Nigeria has treated the people of Plateau State, the people in what's that local government area now, Mango and all these places. It is unfair. It is historic. It's a historical injustice. The Ogonis had their share of it. It happened in Odi. It happened in Agatu. It happened in Numan. It happened in parts of Zamfara, parts of Borno, Chebok and all those places. It happened in Konduga, in Borno also. We cannot continue. We can't pretend that look, whether you believe in it or not, this shedding of blood does not augur well for a nation's well-being. So the day will come when justice will be served. Yes, there's so much blood being shed on the land. What does that mean? And you expect that on that same land, when you plant crops, they should grow, they should blossom and fill your stomach. How does that even not sit well? There is blood on the land, there's oil on the waters. What sort? It just goes to show that there is some level of evil in the higher echelons of leadership. Otherwise, who sits back? Hitler in his days will carry a bottle of blood and say, and be so happy. I say this is the price of civilization, of conquest, because of course he believed that to get material and land, you needed to crush the owners of those places and take up the land in his much vaunted but ill-fated Lebensraum. And we are today again. It appears like a Lebensraum in Nigeria, where people are looking for space and at the expense of what sort of. If you want, the Governor Ganduje back with them when he was governor of Kano provided enough land in Kano. If what you're looking for is further for your cattle, it's all in Kano. Where in the world is it done that you see cattle walking on the airport tarmac? Even when I was in university, you will see that in front of your class they are passing, and you're wondering, in a civilized society,
even along Airport Road, yesterday
on the tarmac, on the express. Where does that happen? If we consider cattle rearing primarily as an economic adventure, which I think is what we should do, what we need to do is to say, how best is it not beef? Beef, leather, hide, skin. Is that not what we're looking for? What more is in cattle that the world has not seen? For all you care, Brazil, India, China, all the even America, all these big countries, they have ranches. Their cattle market, their whatever market is way bigger than what Nigeria can ever think of, and yet you don't see cattle walking on the Potomac, near the Potomac River or on the lawns of the White House. But in Nigeria, anything is possible. All right, let us hope, Moses, that day will come. I keep on saying it. When we can have a Nigeria that is truly just, that is truly free, and that is truly egalitarian. But I believe it will come.
All right. Let's, in the meantime, let's go to the Nigerian Tribune. Let's see what headlines we have right there. Banner headline, waiting game in APC as Ganduje Basiru emerged national chairman. Secretary. Kyari, Edu, Lukman's position up for grabs. PDP mocks party over Gandhi's appointment. All right. And underneath that one, my administration didn't receive 200 billion naira from UBEC or COA. Or your workers continue secretariat blockade. Agitation unfair. Don't get violent. Government cautions. Reps to visit 11.3 trillion naira allegedly spent on turnaround maintenance. And we also have NLC threatened strike if FG fails to withdraw lawsuit. All right. Okay. On top of the nameplate, we have these headlines. Many injured, property destroyed as thugs attack APC members in Ekiti. Nominations open for 2023 Obafemi Awolowo Leadership Prize. All right. And when you go further down, underneath the pictorial, we have Sultan Abdusalami meet Niger coup leaders. Tinubu dispatches Kingibe-led team to Libya, Algeria. Atiku cautions on military force. No intervention order yet. DHQ clarifies. Security agents intercept ship with suspected stolen crude in Delta. All right. So yes, headlines are basically similar.
They shouldn't tell us about stolen crude anymore. We understand, it's fine. They shouldn't tell us about stolen crude anymore. It's okay. Because it appears who is calling who is what determines who is the thief in the equation. Let me leave that one. I wanted to go to Niger.
All right, quickly.
The matter in Niger, it is unfortunate that Nigeria, in my view, if you've not been able to deal with the internal insurgencies and
in your country,
that are on the scale of what that are even less than the scale of what you're going to face in Niger, do you think you can go to Niger and succeed? But I maintain the fact that we ought to take a position of confrontation. We ought to go to Niger to make a statement. We ought to go there to create a stalemate, if at the very least, or push out that regime at the most. Because if we don't, this rain that's fallen on our neighbor's roof will not spare us. This is, look at the scenario. Only some days ago, we had what happened in Sierra Leone. In Sierra Leone, where an attempted push was foiled. If it is really true that was what was about to happen, so we and it's not even this is not so much about the fear of something happening in Nigeria, but when whoever has done whatever they have done to the smaller nations where we appear to be the giants does not respect us.
Apparently so. Well, thank you very much, Cyril Abaku, for staying with us on the newspaper review segment of VOP this morning. Well, it's time for us to delve into other pressing issues. All issues are pressing, but these are the focal points that we have this morning. NLC suspends strike. NLC suspends strike after a meeting with President Tinubu. What possible commitment did the president make to them? Your details when we return. Stay with us.